And hello and welcome to this CNBC conversation with myself, Tanya Habimano, and we're about to dive into an exciting and novel conversation around artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has been gaining ground and is quickly becoming a part of our daily lives. But it's also forming a significant part of our future, with AI augmenting human intelligence, being primed to transform our workspace, but with that presenting us with a new challenge on how we're going to get the skills we need to enhance and develop it. Can Africa leapfrog? That is the question we'll be answering. Joining me now is Samer Obeidat, CEO and co-founder of Stallion AI, to paint us a better picture. So Sam, I want to start off by understanding AI. I mean, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of jargon, and ultimately, how would you describe it?
AI is a big changer. It's an umbrella of technologies. There are some technologies that can read and analyze documents. We call it natural language processing. There is the AI that can see, classify objects, and recognize faces, and perhaps even recognize walking patterns, and we call it computer vision. And there is the AI that can crunch numbers and predict the future and the stock markets and the weather, etc. We call it predictive analytics. And there are many other emerging technologies under the umbrella of AI that can mimic the way how our brains work, basically. So AI can see, can hear, can predict the future, and etc. So this is how I would describe artificial intelligence in a simple way.
To the average user that's watching today, where would they see the best use case or the most common application of AI in today's world?
I mean, AI is disrupting all the sectors today. It's transforming the productivity and the GDP of the global economy with an estimated growth of $15.7 trillion. Africa alone is around basically $1.5 trillion in their economy by 2030. And this is a huge economy for the African continent. When it comes to the use cases and where AI can be applied, we can see it everywhere, basically. If I would describe AI in four trends, I would say in internet AI, for example, we daily use YouTube and Netflix, and it can basically recognize our preferences, and based on these patterns, it can recommend basically what we like to watch. When it comes to business, we can see AI basically disrupting all sectors and offering conversational AI skills to run conversations and answer questions and inquiries to millions of people in different languages simultaneously. We can see AI for example, analyzing and classifying documents, millions of documents in a couple of hours. And this is basically usually reduce operating cost and maximize productivity. Other use cases, as you may know, I mean, autonomous vehicles. And right now we can see in Dubai the autonomous flying taxis even. We used to see them in cartoon and Hollywood movies. Right now, it's becoming a reality. Social robots is going basically to disrupt most of the sectors, whether in military or healthcare or etc. But we can see robotics that are fully driven by current technologies, computer vision, and many other technologies to deliver that kind of human-like experience, and helping people specifically in dangerous jobs and repetitive and routine tasks. Yeah, I mean, we can see AI everywhere. Basically, it's absolutely a game changer. It's going to transform not only the global economy, but the societies, politics, the way how basically we perceive even reality in the near future.
And I'm sure it will also translate into quite some cost efficiencies, but also many other benefits. I'm quite interested to hear from your perspective. What do you see as the main benefits to emerging economies and to perhaps the African continent? What would be the impact that artificial intelligence offers?
I mean, what we want to see in the whether the underdeveloped or the developing world is having a thriving AI entrepreneurship ecosystem. The, I mean, as you know, the way how right now AI startups are stimulating the economies, they are attracting VC or venture capital funding, they are creating new jobs, and they are solving real problems in the society, in the environment, and so forth. So we can see basically huge funding coming into the AI ecosystem all around the globe, not only in the Silicon Valley. And let me give you an example. I mean, since 2017, AI startups are attracting over $17 billion from venture capital firms. According to PitchBook, AI and machine learning startups raised 115 billion only during 2021. In Africa alone, Africa Tech is growing faster than any other region, with 2 times the activity of the last year and more than 3 times the amount invested. So we are talking about 681 rounds of fundraising brought in total of $5.2 billion into the African continent. And this is a great achievement because it's not only bringing money and making people rich, but also it's addressing social, economic, environmental problems with artificial intelligence. Harvard business professor Michael Porter called it shared value, which is basically making money while addressing social problems. So, and this is a new chapter of emerging technologies all around the world.
Now, if we take the conversation outside of the tech space and look into the wider economic and business landscape, are African businesses ready to fully adopt AI?
Some of them. I mean, there is inequality in the tech distribution all around the world. So what we see today, and for example, in China, is like 50 years ahead of what we see in the Middle East and the African region. But there's steps, there's a framework that we have to follow. We call it AI readiness assessment and strategy. So before you start implementing artificial intelligence, and to avoid and prevent any kind of failure, because 91%, according to Business Insider, 91% of businesses fail to successfully implement AI. So before we move to take that step, we have first to assess the readiness of our data, infrastructure, human resources, analytical capabilities, and many other things that we usually assess. Then we have to craft an AI roadmap. You need to have visibility on where are you going. AI is not like any previous technology. It's a new technology that require a lot of experiments on data. You have to clean your data. You have to prepare your data to fuel the AI algorithms so that they will take decisions. You don't want to take wrong decisions based on biased data or incomplete data. It's like humans. You wanna give them the right knowledge, the right inputs in order to take the right decisions. So absolutely, assessment and strategy is key in order to start implementing AI at a large scale, let's say, as well as at a national scale,
And
when it comes to enterprises or governments.
I was actually going to that, how are organizations and governments creating the frameworks in order to get the inputs and the information that is required to make AI efficient?
Well, usually not governments who are maybe some governments are creating the frameworks, but usually, I mean, there is a way to come up with a framework. It should be based on a scientific ground. You consult with experts, with advisory firms, with academics, with engineers, and you come up with a framework that assists the readiness or the maturity level of those organizations, as I mentioned, across the data sector, data criteria, infrastructure, human resources, machine learning capabilities, and then you propose how you're going to move forward. So you have to run this kind of diagnosis of the whole organization before you start basically building your AI or managing your AI projects.
Now, you mentioned earlier human resources. Now, the interesting thing with human resources when we think of artificial intelligence is, and we had it a lot more, it is easing down, but this perception that artificial intelligence, AI, and other new technologies will replace jobs, will replace humans. What do you say to that?
It's not a black and white thing, basically. AI, machine learning, and data science are the most important skills in the global job market right now and in the future. In fact, jobs that require AI or machine learning skills are expected to expand by 71% in the next 5 years. And AI is going to create a lot of jobs, probably more than the jobs that will be replaced right now. So 97 million jobs will be created by 2025. The problem is that workers don't have the skills required yet. So, although AI is rapidly transforming the global economy, it will probably lead to a technological unemployment by replacing over 40% of blue as well as white collar jobs that we know today by the next 8 years. Another problem is that mega corporations are already accelerating the development of AI with a goal to reach human level AI. They called it artificial general intelligence or AGI, probably within our human lives. Kai Fu Lee, Ray Kurzweil, and many others expect AGI to take over most of current human jobs that we currently know, of course, within the next 1 to 2 decades. But obviously, there are many jobs that we don't know right now. Basically, according to some statistics, our kids, 60% of our kids, they will graduate and work in jobs that do not exist today. So Africa and the Middle East countries need to work hard at the national and regional levels to upskill and reskill their workforces across the different sectors to be able to secure their future economy.
So now the question is, what skills? I mean, on the one hand, there are skills that are going to be made redundant, that jobs that will no longer exist. So what should, for example, our kids be studying to be able to ensure their future?
So if we start with our kids, I mean, as you may know, I mean, a lot of the education systems all around the world are pretty outdated right now. So kids are graduating from colleges and universities with majors that basically are not needed anymore in the job markets. So the alignment between graduates and what the job market requires basically is absolutely a top priority to all the governments right now, everywhere in the Middle East, Africa, as well as in the developed world. So what we are trying to do here is that to recommend how to integrate technical skills such as AI, machine learning, and data science with other specialties. Like, for example, if you are studying medicine or engineering or even biology, for example, it is absolutely required to integrate that with data science and AI in order to come up with applications that could basically solve a problem or do a change in the society or the environment or etc. Another angle to look at the whole problem is professionals. I mean, today professionals, they lack the knowledge and the skills. They don't have time to become coders or programmers. I'm talking about investment managers. I'm talking about accountants. Everyone basically, they have to start learning at least the terminologies and tools and frameworks to be able to, first of all, understand how their jobs will be different in the near future. In some countries, it's already different right now. On the other hand, to start equipping themselves with the skills like data science, for example, even at the business level, to be able to sustain their jobs and secure their seats in the future economy.
Now, is this an Africa-specific shortage, or do you observe this in other parts of the country? I know you have activities in Dubai. Are you seeing this in Dubai and the UAE, for example?
Everywhere, everywhere. The problem right now is that there is I mean, this is 3 year statistics, over 500,000 machine learning engineers are required right now. The problem that most of those seniors in the field, they are getting hired or hunted by mega corporations like Facebook and Google and etc. The developed world, the developing world, and underdeveloping world are left without experts, without engineers, without coders. So the ability and the ability of those governments to produce artificial intelligence so they are self-sustained is becoming really complex right now. So everyone is racing to build capacities, internal capacities, to start producing artificial intelligence, so that they do not import the technology from outside, which means they're going to replace their own people with with AI systems. So even at the political level, we are talking about a very serious problem that everybody is working on to make this transition successful.
Now, this sounds to me like an opportunity. On the one hand, we have skill
Yeah.
shortage across the world, and here on the continent we have a demographic that is young, that is ready to learn, willing to learn, and it seems like this is an opportunity where we can actively involve the youth to be able to be skilled and trained in the jobs that are missing in the global marketplace. Do you know of any projects, or how do you see this?
I mean, we can see a lot of projects from all around the African continent, countries everywhere. I mean, Egypt, Nigeria, Tunisia, South Africa. Everyone is absolutely coming up with AI projects and AI entrepreneurial projects that solve problems, attract investments from venture capital firms, and thus be able basically to stimulate the economy. Imagine if you have three Facebooks in South Africa or in Nigeria, for example, multi-trillion-dollar companies right now. It's easy right now to come up with $1 million to fund your team so that you can start basically solving a real problem for the environment using artificial intelligence, for instance. We can see a lot of AI applications in agricultural fields, helping farmers to recognize diseases in real time automatically. They don't really need to bring experts right now to agricultural fields to diagnose what kind of disease in those plants, for example, or in the crops. You can do everything use computer vision. Just a mobile, take a picture in real time, you will get the results with recommendations. So I mean, it's a real tool that can solve problems, and we can see applications in all fields, in healthcare and military and defense and agriculture and public security. Everybody is investing. Of course, I mean, the monies are going to military and commerce most of the time, which is something really bad, in my opinion, because we want to have a sustainable AI, a utopian AI. We don't want to have later on 5 years an artificial general intelligence with a human level intelligence that assassin people or sell you stuff that you don't want really to buy, or etc. You want to have an AI that solves problems and help people and augment them to become wealthier, healthier, and so forth.
Now, the thing that kind of causes let's call it an inkling, is on the one hand, there's a lot of opportunities, and we've talked about it, a lot of benefits. But when we talk about AI in the context of the African continent, we can't help but look at the fact that access to digital technology, access to internet, and the big digital divide that we currently have on the continent is a reality. So how can AI become more democratic?
Well, I think you may know that AI is not a new technology. It's since 1950, basically, when Alan Turing said how machines can think, basically. So it's a pretty old technology, but it's evolving very quickly. We started seeing applications of AI since 2012, when Jeff Hinton, come up with deep learning technology to recognize objects and so forth. The main reason why AI is booming today is because today we have more data than any time in the human history. We have cloud computing, so any entrepreneur, any young entrepreneur can start building their AI applications on the cloud, almost free of charge. Google is giving credits basically to entrepreneurs to start building AI applications. You can learn and build your skills on YouTube free of charge right now to become an AI engineer. I do have some employees in our startup basically, and they literally learned how to become machine learning engineers on YouTube and on taking very cheap courses on Coursera and many of the e-platforms, such as ICOM that we currently launched to democratize and make it easier for everyone to learn artificial intelligence and machine learning sciences. So there are a lot of tools right now that support and help youth and even professionals to start coming up with their own projects um, at a way much cheaper rate than 5 years or 10 years before.
That indeed.
Well, I mean,
No.
if you want to talk about the African continent, I mean, again, there's inequality between the countries or the regions. I know that some countries are still suffering to even securing internet and maybe devices, but I see it happening gradually. I mean, other countries are booming and creating job markets, and therefore, it's going to spread everywhere at some point.
Okay, and talk to us about trends, latest things that are happening. What's hot in the AI world?
Well, I mean, a lot of things happening in the AI world right now. It's different because it's happening fast. It's the most extraordinary time in the human history. I mean, um, what makes AI different again from any other technology that it automates human intelligence. We can see AI already augmenting human jobs such as banking customer service agents and long haul truckers and taxi drivers and general doctors. As a general doctor, for example, you don't really need to see 50 patients a day or even 30 patients a day. The repetitive questions and tasks that you are doing in order to come to a certain diagnosis can be handled today, basically with the current technology, using your own digital AI twin, for example, or even using a commercial AI system that can help you to get augmented and thus focusing on the high value tasks. Same thing can be seen in education. Teachers don't really need to correct essays anymore like before. I mean, AI is helping them to focus on the high value tasks. HR managers today, we can see a lot of AI HR systems helping employees to scan thousands of resumes. And when I say scan, I mean analyze the context, not only the content of those resumes, and therefore be able to shortlist them to the top five from 50,000 resumes, for example, in a very short time frame, instead of spending, I don't know, usually to onboard anyone for one job, it takes an HR specialist over 24 hours of hard work to go through all these resumes. And right now it can be done, automatically. So it is disrupting everything. Even at an autonomous AI level, we can see autonomous vehicles are invading right now the streets in the US and everywhere. We can see social robots helping seniors in hospitals and helping even kids in daycare facilities to do simple stuff. Let's say Elon Musk just launched a new robot right now to help in dangerous and repetitive tasks. We can see AI helping in even in the entertainment sector, for example, in playing chess or board games or um, even the new games right now with the advancement of CGI, which is computer generated imagery. They are becoming not only a normal characters inside the game, it's basically fully powered by AI. So you're having a new breed of intelligent species living in the digital world, unlike before.
I think next time we need to do the interview with your own CGI. But
Absolutely.
I want to find out more about your activities in Dubai. I mean, the last time I was there, I believe it was at the Frame, I got to see an interactive vision of the Dubai of the future. And it seems that a lot of the things that you're mentioning right now are already in application in Dubai. So perhaps you could shed some light in terms of some of the exciting innovations that you're currently running there.
I mean, we are not only in Dubai. I love Dubai. I was born and raised there. It's a beautiful city, and they are really advancing very quickly across not only AI. We can see them launching the metaverse strategy right now. They have the blockchain strategy. They were the first city in the world to have an AI minister in 2017, I think.
Oh,
So
wow.
Dubai is really having a lot of innovations. They just launched the future. Gitix is running right now. The team is there, and they just launched also the Future Museum. And I think they already have an event up and running at the moment. So a lot of inventions happening at a company's level, at our company's level. We are basically working on some futuristic technologies. We are working on a project called Project Gemini, which is basically giving the ability for people to own their own personal AI and monetize their personal AI. And this is what we believe the future, because what's happening in the world right now is mega corporations are building AI that takes jobs, right? So we can see even AI digital humans taking the jobs of customer service experts and credit card experts and call centers, etc. So if we keep going with this route, with this path, we're going to end up pushing people at home and giving them universal basic income, doing nothing. So with the blockchain technology, the rise of blockchain, metaverse, big data, AI, even CGI, right now, it's possible to give the ability or enable people basically to have their own personal AI, which we were talking about earlier. Basically, we call it digital AI twin of real people, where they can talk and behave and offer knowledge to millions in different languages at once. And probably in the next session, we can have my own clone talking on Zoom, taking notes, and and doing presentations in Chinese or in any other language. Basically, it's a huge potential for the human race. Basically, think of a retired psychologist who is democratizing his digital AI twin, thereby offering decades of mental health experience, helping people in underdeveloped regions. It's amazing. The impact is going to be gigantic, in my opinion.
And so in closing, what would be your one sentence message to those who want to know about AI and want to get involved?
Well, education. I mean, I wrote a book in 2020, April 2020, called The Artificial Intelligence Citizen. And the main reason of writing that book is to spread a culture here, to spread a message to millions. Everybody needs to be a responsible and active AI citizen. Becoming an AI citizen means that you have at least to know the minimum amount of knowledge to understand how to secure your future, how to prepare your children for the future jobs. It's really important, and I urge people and organizations to be aware and more engaged with the new digital world around them. Practicing responsible AI citizenship can be as simple as understanding just how AI is going to disrupt your field or profession. So this would be my last message to everyone, to people as well as organizations.
And Sam, I couldn't agree with you more. It certainly has been insightful, informative, and I've learned a lot through our session today. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing more about what AI truly is and what it can mean for the African continent. Thank you so much. This was In Conversation with Samer Obeidat, CEO and co-founder and founder of Stallion AI. And thank you to you, our audience. This was CNBC Africa In Conversation, and I was joined by Samer Obeidat, CEO and founder of Stallion AI, who taught us all about AI.